talking about how longingly Reed Shepherd must be looking over at what Luke Kennard gets to do for the Lakers compared to the way the Rockets have been utilizing him. Rough times right now for Houston and great times right now for the Lakers. Jovan, obviously tired, hanging in there, but the win brings energy.
Yeah, didn't get back till almost midnight last night, so went live at midnight, and then went until almost 2:30 with that, and then was editing and doing stuff till like 4. So pretty late night for me, but this is the best time of the year. This is the playoffs. This is what it's all about. So I'm thrilled to be talking about this.
We're lucky to do what we do for a living, boys.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. So overall thoughts on game 2. Obviously, the Lakers' defensive game plan worked out quite well, particularly in the fourth quarters, just shutting down the Rockets, kept turning them over. The offensive rebounding percentage still wound up pretty high for Houston. The Lakers shot the hell out of the ball once again. Luke Kennard did now it's becoming Luke Kennard things. LeBron was fantastic. Marcus Smart had the X Factor game that I was looking for in this one. I don't know. Jason, what do you take away from game 2? How much, I guess let's go here. How much of this is the Lakers and the way they're executing their game plan versus the Rockets and how poorly they're executing whatever their game plan is?
So it's obviously equal parts both, in the sense that you're not winning this game if Marcus Smart doesn't come out and basically neutralize Kevin Durant's impact by hitting every damn three he took for the first few minutes of the game. You don't win this game if Luke Kennard and LeBron don't continue to just supply consistent scoring in various different ways at various points in the game. You don't win this game if LeBron, even on a night where he really struggled to make his jump shot outside of those 2 threes that he hit in the early second quarter, he struggled to hit everything. His shot making wasn't there, but thankfully for LeBron, unlike a guy like Kevin Durant, he's not dependent on making shots in order to impact the game. And so one of the things that he was able to do is just find little ways to provide offense. Like, oh, I'm being guarded by Kevin Durant, which is straight up stupid. Let me put Şengün in these ball screens and control the offense for a 5-minute stretch here. Or, oh, I don't have my shot making going, but they picked up a couple of early fouls. If I keep pressuring the rim and post-ups, I'm going to be able to manufacture some points at the foul line. And he gets to the foul line 14 times in this game. And an ethical 14 free throws, no griftiness, just straight up, just smash mouth basketball and just getting hacked by dudes. So, like, you're going to definitely give a lot of credit to guys. Rui Hachimura, a huge pull-up 3 out of the right elbow there. Little bits of play finishing from specific players. But the other half of this is the defensive end of the floor. And one of the things that I think is worth calling out here is one of the big differences between the way that the KD double team thing worked compared to the regular season games is in the regular season games, KD was just dribbling the ball up the floor in the first one, and they were doubling him out by half court, and it was causing all sorts of problems. In the second game, if you guys remember on the Wednesday night game, they had a lot of success in the third quarter by going to KD in off-ball action, if you guys remember, and that was where they went on that crazy run before the Lakers kind of stabilized in the fourth quarter, and then Luka obviously went ape shit down the stretch to win that game. But in this game, it was a mix of all of that. Like, KD was working out of ball screens, KD worked out of handoffs, KD worked out of off-ball action. Like, they were moving him in different spots on the floor. And what the Lakers did, and LeBron mentioned this in his post-game presser, if you guys remember, he used the pitcher analogy, like fastball, changeup, curveball, screwball, trying to keep KD off balance. And that's very much what they did in the second half. They were, sometimes doubling him just when he was dribbling out on the perimeter. Like, they just send Ayton up, or they'd send Jackson up, or sometimes they'd blitz him on a ball screen. Sometimes they would switch the ball screen, but then send a double team from one of the perimeter players. Sometimes they'd just be like, fine, go one-on-one for this one possession, because now you don't have any rhythm. And, KD would take a pull-up 3 over Ayton and miss it because it's like the only shot he took over like a 7-minute span, and he doesn't have any rhythm. There's a similar kind of shot over LeBron in the left corner, if you guys remember. Sometimes they sent the doubles on the drives. Like, there was one where the Vando switched off of him and kind of waited for KD to drive to the left elbow. Then he sent the hard double team right when he started to go up into his shot. Like, they just really mixed up coverages to keep them off balance. And then from there, what you're doing is you're capitalizing on the lack of basketball IQ for this Houston Rockets team.
Want to give a shout out to our sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Got a great deal going on right now. Play $5 and get $50 instantly. Use that code HMA and use the link in the description down below. Super easy on PrizePicks. You just download the app, then go make your selections, take more or less on some of your favorite players. Let's take a look at the first round playoff series here. Aaron Gordon has been so fantastic for the Denver Nuggets. I think he clears 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined as an average for the series. I'm going to go more on Aaron Gordon on that one. And then let's look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know what? Did we just stick with Anthony Edwards? No, you know what? Let's go with our guy, Julius Randle, former Laker. 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists per game. That Denver defense has not always been great. I'm going to say Julius Randle can average more than 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists per game in their round one series against the Denver Nuggets. If you guys want to get in on it, go check out PrizePicks. Use the link in the description down below. That code, it's HMA. Play $5, get $50 instantly. And if you are going to play, please make sure you do so responsibly.
And I actually just released a video for you guys that are listening that you guys can watch on my Twitter feed, where I did a film session in the second half and I broke down this specific dynamic. But one of the things that Houston did was just not get into the right spacing concepts every trip down the floor. When they usually had two credible shooters on the floor. Maybe it was a Kogi and Eason. Maybe it was a Kogi and Reed. Maybe it was Reed and Eason. Maybe it was Jabari Smith and one of those guys. But what they would typically do is they would put both of those guys on one side of the floor and then have Şengün and Amen Thompson on the other side of the floor. And the Lakers would just not have to guard one of those dudes because they're both dunkers that are standing on the same side of the floor. And as a result of that, they had a lot of these double teams where KD just had nowhere he could go with the basketball because the Lakers could easily ignore one of the two non-shooters and then account for the shooters. But when the Rockets actually spaced the floor properly, which typically was shooter left corner, shooter right corner, Thompson, Şengün, high-low, they actually were able to get some good looks. Some layups for Şengün, some layups for Amen Thompson, some wide-open threes for Jabari Smith, some wide-open threes for Josh Okogie and Tari Eason. So when they had their spacing right, they were able to get some good shots. But even then, there were several plays where, like, Şengün caught in the high-low or Amen Thompson caught in the high-low and just made a bad read because they're basketball players that make bad reads. And so the entire kind of, like, construct of this is built around making the Rockets execute, and they're not a good execution team. And we got to include KD in this. There were plays where KD missed. KD took went up for a shot over a triple team with Reed Shepherd standing wide open at the top of the key, and then at the last second decided he wanted to pass it and threw it right into a Lakers' hands and triggered a fast break going the other way. Like, KD dribbled it right off of his foot against Marcus Smart. Like, KD had a lot of really poor decisions as well because, once again, he's a player that's predicated on shot making who's being miscast as a point guard because this team doesn't really have one, and they're just a poorly constructed team with the injuries to Fred VanVleet, right? So, like, the whole game plan is built around confusing Houston and playing them into their lesser tendencies. And to Jovan's point, when Jovan predicted the Lakers would win the series after game one, where he's looking right now is, yeah, there's a pathway for Houston to turn this around, but it's like, will they? Like, will they though? And, like, will they do the right things? Like, and this is the last thing I'll say. I know I'm going long here, but I just found this to be very fascinating. There was a sequence at the tail end of the game where they had their high-low spacing correct multiple times in a row. They had shooter left corner, shooter right corner, high-low with Thompson and Şengün. And they run it perfectly 2 times in a row. They get a wide-open 3 for Tari Eason, even though KD missed the read and inexplicably threw it to Şengün. Şengün made the extra pass to Tari Eason, wide open the corner. He hits the 3. Then Amen Thompson, same exact thing. Like, Tari Eason's wide open, just doesn't throw it to him and forces it to Şengün. Luke Kennard almost steals it, but it leaks through and Şengün gets the ball and dunks it. But correct spacing for what should have been good shots that still gave them 5 points, even though they almost botched it. On the very next possession, Amen Thompson runs to the left corner and spaces to the left corner, and Tari Eason goes to the dunker spot, and Kevin Durant drives and gets doubled, and Jackson Hayes completely ignores Amen Thompson in the left corner. KD has nowhere to go, and he throws the ball right to Marcus Smart. And that's the thing. That's the thing that this team does. They shit themselves. Like, there's no other way to put it. They just decompose. And so, like, and guys, if you want some visual examples of that, you can find it on my YouTube channel. But the key here is that's the other half of this coin. Like, the Lakers offense is a whole conversation that we need to have today because it's been brilliant, and Luke Kennard's been brilliant, Marcus Smart's been brilliant, LeBron's been brilliant. But the Lakers have built a game plan that is predicated on getting the Rockets to soil themselves. And this is the fourth time this year that they have just straight up soiled themselves against these coverages.
This is 4 straight wins over the Houston Rockets going back into the regular season. The Lakers, I think it's a fine point. Like when we talk about the Rockets, it's a lot of the conversation coming out of Rockets fans out of game 1 was, well, we just shot poorly. If we shoot better, we're fine, right? We're not going to shoot this poorly again. They shot poorly again in game 2. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but the process is also bad. It's not like they've got great process. They're getting these great wide open looks all game long and just carving up the Lakers and getting great looks and just happen to be missing them. That's where you look at it and say, well, yeah, okay, regression's going to kick in. They're going to be fine, and those shots ultimately will fall. They're not generating good looks, and the Lakers were doing a great job contesting on the looks that they did get and turning the Rockets over. Basically, the Lakers are opening the door for mistakes, and the Rockets every time are like happily stepping through it. When they do get it right, it almost feels more accidental than anything else, which once again, some of that credit goes certainly to JJ Redick, to the Lakers coaching staff for running things the way that they have, and for